The bright morning sun reflected off the shattered orange body of the McLaren as it sat silently in the corner of the repair yard. The exotic supercar looked less like a dream machine and more like a broken sculpture. Its front suspension was destroyed, its electronics were failing, and the engine management system was completely offline. Every mechanic who examined it reached the same conclusion. The repair would take at least 6 months, maybe longer. But nobody expected a single father named Rowan Mercer to walk into that yard and change everything. Before we begin, if you believe kindness, determination, and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share it with someone who needs inspiration today, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire for more unforgettable stories. Rowan Mercer was 38 years old. He wasn't famous. He wasn't wealthy. He didn't own a luxury garage or a massive automotive company. He lived in a modest house on the edge of town with his 11-year-old daughter, Harper. Every morning started the same way. He made breakfast, packed school lunches, drove Harper to school, and then spent the rest of the day working at a small independent repair shop. Life had not been kind to Rowan. 3 years earlier, he lost his wife to a sudden illness. Overnight, he became a father trying to fill 2 roles. There were days when the grief felt impossible to carry. There were nights when bills stacked up faster than paychecks. Yet despite everything, he never stopped moving forward. Cars were more than machines to Rowan. They were puzzles. Every broken bolt, damaged sensor, and failed engine component represented a challenge waiting to be solved. He had spent decades learning every system imaginable. While others saw impossible repairs, Rowan often saw hidden solutions. One sunny Tuesday morning, a customer arrived at the repair shop carrying photographs of a heavily damaged McLaren. The owner was a successful entrepreneur named Victor Hale. The car had been involved in a transportation accident while being shipped across the state. Several high-end dealerships and specialty shops had inspected it already. Every estimate said the same thing. 6 months. Some shops even suggested replacing entire systems that would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Victor looked exhausted. The damaged car had become a nightmare. Every day it sat idle represented lost time and mounting expenses. When Rowan studied the photos, something caught his attention. The damage looked severe, but not impossible. Most mechanics were planning to replace major assemblies. Rowan wondered if they were overlooking smaller failures hidden underneath. A few days later, the McLaren arrived on a trailer. Employees gathered around it. The vehicle looked terrible. Cracked carbon fiber panels. Damaged suspension components. Disconnected wiring harnesses. Multiple computer errors. The dashboard looked like a Christmas tree filled with warning lights. One mechanic shook his head. Another laughed quietly. Nobody believed a small neighborhood repair shop should even attempt the project. Yet Rowan accepted the challenge. Not because of money. Not because of pride. But because Harper had asked him something the night before. She had been sitting at the kitchen table finishing homework when she noticed her father's worried expression. She asked why he looked so serious. Rowan explained that he was considering a difficult repair job. Harper smiled and reminded him of something he had taught her. The impossible only stays impossible until someone starts working on it. Those words stayed with him all night. The next morning, he rolled the McLaren into the center bay and began. Hour 1 was dedicated entirely to diagnostics. Most technicians rushed toward replacing parts. Rowan started with data. He connected specialized scanners and spent hours reading fault codes, analyzing sensor outputs, and tracing electrical pathways. By noon, he discovered something surprising. Several major systems appeared damaged only because one communication network was failing. A single damaged control module had triggered dozens of secondary errors. The car looked far worse electronically than it truly was. The breakthrough energized him. He skipped lunch. While other workers took breaks, Rowan remained focused. The afternoon sunlight streamed through the garage windows as he carefully removed damaged panels. Underneath, he found more good news. Several structural components believed to be compromised were actually intact. The carbon fiber tub, the heart of the McLaren, had survived. That discovery alone eliminated months of potential repair work. Hour after hour, Rowan moved with remarkable precision. His hands were steady. His concentration never wavered. He repaired wiring rather than replacing entire harnesses. He rebuilt assemblies instead of ordering new ones. He tested every connection twice. As evening approached, exhaustion began creeping into his muscles. Most people would have stopped. Most people would have gone home. But Rowan couldn't. Harper was waiting for him. And somewhere inside, he wanted to prove that skill and determination still mattered in a world increasingly obsessed with expensive replacements. As darkness arrived, the garage became quiet. Only one bay remained illuminated. Only one mechanic continued working. Rowan. Outside, rain began falling. Inside, the clock continued ticking. Hour 10. Hour 11. Hour 12. The damaged suspension was rebuilt. Hour 13. Critical sensors came back online. Hour 14. The communication network stabilized. Hour 15. The dashboard warning lights started disappearing one by one. The garage owner arrived shortly after midnight and was shocked to see Rowan still working. The McLaren looked completely different. Panels were aligned. Systems were responding. Progress that was expected to take months had happened in less than a day. Yet Rowan wasn't celebrating. He knew the hardest part remained. The engine. Without proper engine communication, none of the other repairs mattered. At hour 16, he traced an intermittent fault buried deep within a connector assembly. The issue was so small most technicians would have overlooked it entirely. A damaged pin. Just one tiny connection. One microscopic failure creating massive problems. When Rowan repaired it, something remarkable happened. The vehicle systems suddenly synchronized. The screens illuminated correctly. The fault codes vanished. Hope filled the garage. Hour 17. Fluids were checked. Systems were recalibrated. Components were tested. Hour 18. The McLaren was ready for startup. Employees gathered around. Victor arrived after receiving an unexpected phone call. Nobody spoke. The entire garage held its breath. Rowan sat in the driver's seat. He pressed the ignition button. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the engine roared to life. The sound echoed through the building. Powerful. Smooth. Perfect. Several employees stared in disbelief. Others applauded. Victor stood frozen. After months of frustration and countless failed estimates, his car was alive again. But Rowan wasn't finished. He wanted proof. Real proof. He spent the 19th hour conducting road tests and final inspections. Every system performed flawlessly. Every diagnostic check passed. Every concern was resolved. 19 hours. Not 6 months. 19 hours. Word spread quickly. Videos appeared online. Automotive enthusiasts discussed the story. Professional technicians debated how one mechanic achieved what multiple shops considered impossible. Journalists called. Customers arrived. The small repair shop became famous almost overnight. Yet the most important moment happened later that evening. After the celebration ended, Rowan finally returned home. Harper was waiting on the porch. The setting sun painted the sky gold and orange. She ran toward him. He looked exhausted. His hands were dirty. His clothes smelled like oil and metal. But his smile said everything. He had done it. Not because he was the smartest person in the room. Not because he had the most expensive equipment. But because he refused to quit. Harper hugged him tightly. And in that simple moment, all the recognition, attention, and praise felt insignificant compared to the pride in his daughter's eyes. Months later, the repair shop expanded. Business flourished. New opportunities appeared. Financial worries began disappearing. For the first time in years, Rowan felt hopeful about the future. Yet whenever people asked how he repaired the McLaren so quickly, his answer remained simple. He never focused on how impossible the job looked. He focused on the next problem directly in front of him. One step. One repair. One solution at a time. And eventually, the impossible became possible. Special request: comment below with the words, "Never give up," if you believe determination can overcome obstacles that seem impossible. As this story comes to an end, if Rowan and Harper's journey touched your heart, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with friends and family, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire. Your support helps bring more inspiring stories of courage, sacrifice, and hope to people around the world. Because sometimes the greatest victories aren't measured by luxury cars, money, or fame. Sometimes they're measured by a tired father walking through his front